What?
I'm not going to say now. Hey, everybody got it?
Leaving
Got
me
it.
Tonight, covered in film, it's coming at you. So I hope you're ready for us to come right now. That's how it goes, right? We will be reviewing I Lost My Job.
I lost my job. Is that a better title for this film?
Wait.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I wanted to say more, but you interrupted
Let
me.
him finish.
Lost my job.
No, come on. Get back to it.
Actually,
Lost my job.
I didn't lose.
All right,
I lost my job. Wait, let's start over. Cut. I lost my job. Well, actually, I didn't lose my job. It lost me. I'm overeducated and underskilled. 1993 is falling down. Can you guys resonate with that at all? Or do you know anyone who can? Oh my God.
I mean, I feel like everybody knows somebody who can.
All I want to know is who's coming with me.
That's right. What if Jerry Maguire would have had a duffel bag full of guns?
So this movie, to give a synopsis, is about a guy having the worst day of his life. Do you guys remember the worst day of your life? Wait. Before you answer that question, let's not actually talk about that. But instead, let's talk about some things that happen on the regular that make your days bad. I'll start. People who complain. I hate them.
Which we are doing right now.
I guess like every time I make that complaint, I'm always hesitant because I'm just like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it really
the person doesn't want to hear me say that I'm upset about something. This guy doesn't want to listen as much as I don't want to listen. Yeah.
So where on your tier list is that in your everyday life of just shit that bugs you? Because it's maybe my number one.
I mean, it might be my number one most encountered, but I don't know.
I mean, people just doing stupid shit in general is way up there for me. Can't really get into it, but it's all the time.
Really chaps my butt is that fucking person when you're driving and you gotta get one more car ahead of you. I'm like, why do you gotta be that person? Like, you just gotta get one more car length. Like, why do you gotta do that? That just bothers me.
Just don't appreciate the speed at which you're exiting the freeway. That's what it is. I got to get there faster because when I hit the street, I want to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just.
So that's
what that person's thinking.
Yeah. I mean, my worst day was when I was invited to the show, but besides that.
Oh, damn.
I know. Shit.
Hey, buddy.
Yours as well, I'm sure. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, what really also bothers me when someone eats all the marshmallows out of Lucky Charms. That really pisses me off. But it happens a lot.
That can't be true, Jason.
I got kids, man.
That can't be true.
Oh my God.
Pour it in a bowl.
Let's go back.
Mellows. You put the shit back in the box. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I really is this real? You have actually poured out Lucky Charms and found that all the marshmallows are gone?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I've done it myself. I mean, I got to pass it.
You know what that means? You've done it yourself.
You've never had a bowl of just mellows? Oh man.
Hey, dude, I much prefer the non-mellows. Honestly, I don't like that the texture of the mellows.
Okay.
Now the mellows are pretty great. I haven't had those things since I was a kid, but I feel like I can vividly remember the flavor profile and texture of them. And even though it's super artificial and terrible for you, it's the only thing worth eating in that whole box. You do need a little bit of that crunch to just break it up, but Lucky Charms suck. Like, honestly, why'd you even talk about them?
I don't know.
Boo, Lucky Charms. Boo.
They sponsor me.
But I mean, before we move on to Ben bitching about shit that bothers him, because I really do want to get to that.
And that'll bother me.
Are we going to get to the movie? Or
no?
You just
no.
It's all themes. Okay.
That's what this movie is about.
We're not talking about the movie.
But
Just close
real
that up.
quick,
All right,
real
I've only
quick.
got movie stuff. All right. You know what really grinds my gears?
Ben, what's your favorite cereal?
Okay.
My
All right, we're doing
favorite
cereal.
cereal. All right. I mean,
Okay.
CTC is up there.
I feel like he likes Kicks or whatever. Tricks, Kicks,
Favorite.
whatever the fuck that shit was.
No, it's Raisin Nut Brand.
Oh, that explains everything.
100%.
You old man.
I'm all backed up. I got a shit.
100%. That is my favorite.
That's when your beard turned gray and you started losing
Dude,
your
I
hair.
can remember the first time I had it and I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
These
it's crazy.
raisins are covered in nuts. Yeah, it was an experience.
He gets a free AARP sign up with that shit too. It's great.
When it came out, AARP. When it came out,
did you
Honey
say
Nut
NAACP? Damn, dude, what the fuck?
Honey Nut, what? I didn't hear. Checks, you said?
Honey Nut Checks. Have you guys ever had them?
I haven't had Honey
Oh,
Nut
yeah.
Checks. I've had Honey Bunches of Oats though. That shit's on point.
Honey Nut Checks took they're a little bit more recent to the cereal game. Like I want to say 15, 20 years ago. But they saw what Honey Nut Cheerios did and they saw what Chex Mix did. They're like, hey, those are two great things. Let's just take the best parts of both of them and make that into a cereal. And it is the best cereal.
It's just
okay. I got
your
a question for you
description's
guys.
weird because rice checks, corn checks, and wheat checks were a thing for a long time. It was rice checks decided they would put the honey. You remember Crispix? You guys remember Crispix has the two sides?
No.
You know what's funny is when I was thinking about talking about people who are in this movie, oddly enough, all three of us probably have way different views of these people's careers. But yeah, cereal. What do you got, Jason?
We're gonna back on cereal. So I'm gonna go with corn pops. It's probably my jam.
Really? The frog one?
But the number one is gonna have to be Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries, man. I'm a Crunch Berry. I don't know why it's so good to me.
That's another super artificial
flavor. Oh, look, that's like my personality. It's great. Yeah. But I got a question for you guys. When you make your first bowl of cereal, do you put milk first or cereal first? First bowl of cereal.
Nobody puts milk first. That's fucking ridiculous.
There's a theory that
nobody puts milk first.
Somebody puts milk first. I guarantee someone watching this show puts milk first. I guarantee it.
They're an idiot.
So on the
if you're doing that, you are depriving yourself of a good life.
Hey, 77 people out there. You don't even have a 1% chance. You are more than 1% if you're the one person, because that's how many subscribers we have. So you can really show how large of a portion of the population is an idiot. If you comment in the comments section, you can get this up to 2, maybe even 4 or 5% of idiots in America, according to Ben.
Right.
Cool.
That was an interesting intro. I never saw, the serial killing aspect coming up, but yeah, it was pretty good.
So,
speaking of cereal, who's your favorite serial killer? Right? I mean,
now we're just gonna keep going, deep diving it. I don't know.
Hey,
Jason's
Ben,
ready to go.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, Russ.
Yeah.
Yes, Russ. What can we do
rate
for
it
you?
and grade it.
There we go. Now we're on track.
All right.
Here we go.
We're gonna the movie or cereals?
Yeah,
you want me to rate serial killers?
Jeffrey Dahmer. After watching the show, Jeffrey Dahmer is probably
no.
That dude is fucking weird.
Too creepy. He's too creepy.
It is super creepy, but that was a good show.
It was interesting.
That's what I hear. Yeah. Never watched it. I did watch a real documentary on him though. Rate it and grade it. 1993. They were filming this movie in the spring and summer of 92 when very famously the Rodney King riots erupted on the streets of LA. So they had to change it up, run back into the studio. Michael Douglas had just done 2 movies back to back and was like, I think it's time for me to take a year off and enjoy being rich and having a family. And somebody got him this script and he said it was the best thing he ever read. He's also said he thinks it's his favorite film he's ever been in. And his father had said this is his favorite performance by him. I don't know. I
Ben
feel like I've got a
read
yeah.
all my trivia.
And
You
that's
read
the end of the
all
show.
the
Yeah.
trivia in the
Right.
first.
No.
Yeah. Who's the
All right,
host
go
here?
ahead.
Wow.
Keep going.
I really thought I was on a roll there, but apparently, fuck me, right?
Yeah.
It's a solid B. There you go. Move on to the next thing.
Ben, do you want to talk more about trivia? I'm sorry.
No, I'm not going to talk more. I'm going to stand up for my rights as a podcaster, and I'm not going to talk anymore.
I'm tired of your people pushing down on my people.
What?
Jason?
Hairless? Yeah, go ahead.
Rate it and grade it.
Okay. So first thing I want to say is I'm going to get a little bit serious here. Being the mental health warrior that I try to be, definitely, if you are anywhere, shape, or form of this caliber of person, please go speak to somebody, get some help, because that was some crazy shit to watch. I haven't seen this movie since it came out, to be honest with you. I think I watched it a couple years after it came out. Haven't seen it since. I kind of knew what movie was about when I went to watch it this time, but man, that dude was fucked up. I didn't catch, was he fired or not working, goes driving around town? I didn't really catch on to that. Was that what was going on at the beginning?
He packed a lunch into his briefcase, left his
waiting to
home with
explode.
his mother, and just spent all day not at home with mom. Probably looking for a job, probably plotting revenge against his family. I don't know. Do you feel? I don't want to interrupt your rate it and grade it. Sorry.
So, one of the first episode or first series was when he's stuck in traffic and he gets out of his car. And when I saw the Garfield, I don't know if you guys remember the Garfield on the glass stuck on the car.
Mhm.
I was like, holy shit. That was like a memory, like a core memory. I'm like, I haven't seen that in so long. I actually wanted to buy one on eBay, but I couldn't find a good price on it. But the nostalgia in this movie was great.
Yeah, you guys are a little older than me, and for me, that Garfield was like a moment in time, and
Absolutely.
maybe you guys will have a very different memory, but for me, I was very little. I was like at the age, I may have even actually still been in booster seats where I was still kind of forming memories, and we didn't have one, but I do remember seeing them, and it was like the youngest part of me that was in a car. What was it for you guys?
Dude, I was a Garfield. Yeah, I was a Garfield fanatic when I was in grade school. Like I collected every one of the Jim Davis's Garfield books. I think it was the predecessor to Calvin and Hobbes for me to really get me into loving comic strips. But yeah, immediately upon seeing that, I'm like, I think there are three different types, right? There's the sharp teeth like they have in the movie. There's one where he's just smiling, and then they have just a regular Garfield without a smile.
I'm surprised you remember that. Yeah, good job, man.
Oh yeah, no. I felt like I always wanted one, but my parents were not we're gonna stick shit on our car kind of.
I had a Garfield garbage can, and I actually was looking for one of those too to buy. I'm like, fuck, dude, I gotta get some shit. But yeah, the nostalgia of the movie, man. I mean, just cell phones weren't around. People were actually talking, conversing, and it
when
was
the rich guy pulls out the phone.
And it's like a fucking cinder block. Yeah.
It's like something that you could kill somebody with.
I know that.
But no, I mean, the nostalgia was good. The movie has some dark moments. I have a hard time watching mental health issues like that. But all in all, I give it a solid B as well. I think it was a good movie for its time. I definitely don't think it could be remade in these current times that we're in. I think some of the stuff was pretty racy and pretty, out there. But for the times, it is what it is, man. But yeah, I think overall, moves a solid B, personally.
This might be a first, but
triple B.
Oh,
yeah,
B,
I am also a solid B on this movie.
Solid B, okay.
I think we all kind of hit like a little bit different what this movie does for us. Jason, I think you take it a little more serious than I do.
I do.
This movie is definitely a commentary on mental health, but I don't think it really starts there. It kind of ends there. But the the bulk of the movie for me is about a guy who's having a really bad day and enjoying his freedom and just like, fuck it. I'm just saying fuck it today. And he's realizing he's not getting caught and he just keeps on going.
Yeah, it's like
And
another
it's
Breaking
kind of
Bad
interesting. Like
origin story.
So I put down some similar movies. That was actually my next little bit. Did not think Breaking Bad, but I guess I get it. You know, he finds out he has cancer. I'm gonna
Yeah,
die.
this
Fuck it.
guy's
I'm
this
gonna go
guy's
make
losing
cocaine.
things to have, getting him up every morning.
Yeah.
He's pushed to the
Motivation.
edge.
Close to the edge.
Yep.
Yeah. So when
I
you
feel
put it
like
in that perspective,
uh-huh. Go ahead.
well, when you
Well, I
put it
feel
in
like
that perspective,
All right.
no, you go, Jason. I
Well-
want to hear what you have to say.
Well, I mean, what I was going to say also was, when they're trying to find this guy, in current times, they would have ring cameras and fucking cell phone pings and all kinds of shit. But back then, they're like, some random dude in a fucking shirts walk around killing people. What's going on? Like, it really did take them time to fucking figure shit out back then. But now it's
Wait,
like,
what was the description? Some dude in a shirt.
yeah, some
Yeah,
dude
a
in a
guy in a
shirt.
white
Hi.
shirt.
Yeah. Like, come
Yep.
on, dude. Like, that's how they're going to narrow
I-
this shit down. But
I mean, you get a native or not a native. Ugh. A words
okay.
not so
Oh.
flowy tonight. Uh, you get somebody who's the robbery detective, and he's hearing these stories come through the precinct. I love the
Yeah.
detective part of it. I think that's one of the most fun, like cool parts to it. Whereas I honestly, the guy's day, I mean, it's the same kind of day he's been having forever, which that doesn't not make it bad. But to me, it's not a bad day. He's having a day where he's
Fucking.
actually taking he's taking a place in life. He's gonna actually push instead of just doing what most people do, which
Be pushed.
is being polite and allowing everything to flow around them and keeping to your lane. He decides he's not going to stay in his lane anymore. Just he clear a path. I'm going home. I'm making a lane, and you're either going to cross it and deal with it, or I'm going to take it to you. And I feel like where would you say is the point? Is it right away where this guy is a bad guy, or are you allowing for some of his behaviors for a while and then there's a turning point?
When he gets to that grocery store, that quickie mart, I was like, what the fuck, dude?
No,
Um,
I think I'm
The
like
fast food
on
joint,
his.
or the quickie mart. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'm on his side until he calls his ex. And then when the story really develops and you really see that, like what Jason was saying, there's a mental health issue here. He's actually had things going on in the past. But up until then, for me, it was just like people fucking suck in this world. And this dude just had it at that point in the story. Your perception is he just had a job. He was trying to get to his job, or he was trying to get home, and he was just
Right.
tired of it. Like, fuck all these people who suck. The complainers out there, the kids
Mhm.
throwing trash, the
See, and
air
this is
conditioner
where
that's not working.
right, the kids throwing trash. I know, it's like, who's on this bus letting these kids throw trash out of there? Anyway,
fuck, just go to a
dude,
restaurant on a Friday night. You'll see that shit left and right. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I get
I work somewhere where we don't allow kids, and it's like programmed this terribleness in me now to where anytime I go out in public and I see kids running around, I'm like, oh no, they need to leave. Like, that's my first reaction in my head, is like, they're not supposed to be here. What are their parents doing? And then I'm like, oh no, wait, just that's my job.
They're out in the wild. Yeah.
Other people allow children.
What about
but-
children that are
Mhm.
cycling? That's
But children
man.
are little monsters.
They are. Wow. Yeah, especially when they eat all the mellows. Yeah.
See,
But
I guess it's just a commentary. It's funny that, this movie came out in 93, and I remember I graduated in 96, and a good friend of mine saying, you seen that movie Falling Down? You remind me of that guy. Like I'm with him all the way till he goes to the fast food joint. And then it's like, oh no, this is you're making a big mistake. You're taking people hostage. You are completely in the wrong here. And then from there on, he's just point of no return. Where do you feel like when he gets out of his car, I don't feel like he's got this fully formed plan of what's going to happen when he gets to his ex-wife's house. But there is definitely a point in the movie where
Well,
he knows exactly what he's doing. I
was
think
he
it's
trying to get?
shortly after he gets the bag of guns.
Where was he driving to the house? Is what he was doing. That's why he got stuck in traffic on the way there. He was just trying to
I
get
don't
there.
think he was.
He was
I
driving
think that just
aimlessly.
set him over the edge, and he's like, "I'm going home." He had this revelation: "I'm gonna go home. Fuck all this. I'm going home."
Yeah.
For me, it was the army surplus store. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a trip.
like that guy validated what he was doing. It like he up until that point he was this teetery, like this is what I want to do. I hope
Mhm.
that she accepts me. I called her once. I got these guns from these assholes. And then he gets in the army surplus store and he's like already done all the bad things, and that guy just he's like,
Yeah, he's like some disgusting human being is telling me what an inspiration I
Just a,
am.
yeah.
a
And then
turd of
completely
life.
turns on him. Yeah. Indeed.
I really like the
So
golf course scene when the guy hits the
of course
bottom.
scene was pretty
Like,
great.
what the fuck?
Bro, yeah. Well, I
Oh,
guess you well, I guess you would have liked to let me walk through your golf course then. Yeah, when
yeah,
he
the guy
looks
has that
back and
hat little
sees the
thing on.
cart going in the pond.
This is
It's
my
such a
medicine's in the my medicine. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that sucks.
so fucking
the whole
funny.
movie had so many parts like that though. That's why I think I like this movie, because you see those little moments, and like you've been there. You've been in a moment just like that where you wished you could have just pulled out a gun and not necessarily killed the person, but just like shot it in the air and scared the shit out of them
Yeah,
and
just
been like, "Give me
scare him
my
real bad.
fucking hamburger. Like I want my breakfast sandwich. It's 3 minutes after the time. I know you still have them." She turns around, she literally grabs a breakfast sandwich that's already ready. They were just being assholes. And you know that you've been in those situations before. That's why I was asking the questions I did. And that's why I was directing them at Ben, because I agree with his friend who said, like, I feel like this is you. Um,
I keep it under wraps,
he
but
keeps it
sometimes,
under
man,
wraps.
I just want to explain to
I'm not
people,
gonna
which is
do
hard
what everyone
because
thinks I'm gonna do. Yeah.
yeah,
So
no. I come into contact with people who remind me of just having this guy under the surface, and I'm like, this isn't me though. I'm not like this person in front of me who continually tells me he's not doing what he is exactly doing. Anyway, I shouldn't get too specific. All right.
similar movies. I was trying to come up with similar movies. I Googled similar movies. And this list is much smaller than my next list, so I'll try and keep that next one short. But I like to ramble. So similar movies. Ben said Breaking Bad, and I was surprised by that, and I thought that was actually pretty great. But have you guys seen the movie Nightcrawler?
Oh yeah.
That's a similar movie, like a guy
With
with
Jake
Oh,
probably
the
Gyllenhaal.
camera guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
mental health
Yeah.
issues, who's just
Except
having
yeah,
like a
yeah.
bad time.
For
That was an
sure
interesting
mental health.
movie.
But he's
Yeah.
just kind of creepy up front. Like he doesn't have an overlying arc of being redeemable at all. He's just he's gonna get his way.
Right? Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit
I thought it was
different.
a pretty good movie. It was creepy as hell though.
Yeah, it was kind of
I know,
creepy.
like totally under the radar movie, but when you watch it, you're like, that was pretty good. Thank you, Sean Lindemone, for telling me to watch that.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Way to go, Sean.
Gran Torino. Would you
It's been
guys
a
put
while.
this in the same ballpark? Like that guy
I've
is
only
just
seen that
going
once.
downhill the
Yeah, I've
entire
only
movie.
seen that once. I couldn't speak to it. All I remember is her instructions on how to not be rude to the Hmong people.
It's actually it's a good movie that's got a good message, and it's kind of charming, and it mixes like I don't, being
Well, I guess he kind of is angry at the world.
yeah,
Mhm.
In a way.
he's definitely angry at the world, and he's definitely having a bad day that just gets worse and worse. Only
Mhm.
it's over the span of like a week or 2 weeks rather than 24 hours. But
Definitely better than Cry Macho. I'll tell you that much.
I would say that's a better movie that is similar. That's like
Huh.
maybe an A- movie. What do you guys think of John Wick in comparison to this movie?
Is he really having a bad day though?
Hell yeah, he's having a bad day. His dog gets killed.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, once there's 4 movies, but it's a lot of bad days over a dead
I've
dog.
only ever seen the first one.
I've seen the first 2 or 3, I think.
I'm with Ben on this. I've only seen the first one. I've only ever wanted to see the first one. Like, it's just this stupid revenge plot.
And the cuts in it are very the editing, the
might be.
cuts in it, I feel leave just huge gaps in believability. I don't know. John Wick is an interesting, like, that's for new audiences who have grown up only watching as much as they wanted of a YouTube clip rather than having to sit through an entire 30-minute show. You know what I mean? Like, the attention span in John Wick, I feel like, is cut a bunch.
For my last 2 on that category, Crash and Phone Booth. Do you guys?
I haven't seen that.
Phone booth.
Dude, Phone Booth surprised me for a movie that like just took place in a phone booth. I was like, I've watched this more than once, and it's entertaining. Crash is a 4-star movie, though. That movie is definitely 4 stars. You should
4
rent
stars.
You should rent that movie
it today. Oh my god, that's because Blockbuster had a cut in it. That's why it was advertised so heavily. What about Freeway with Reese Witherspoon? That's like a reimagining of The Big Bad Wolf. Have you seen that? That movie's fucking nuts. Kiefer Sutherland as the Big Bad Wolf. Jason, you would not like it. That movie's fucking nuts.
I was like, oh well, yeah. Well, I mean, there are 2 movies that were on my mental health list that were kind of weird. Joaquin Phoenix Joker definitely had a mental health twist that was hard to watch.
Oh my god,
and, Split was an interesting one. That guy was fucking strange. You guys seen that one?
Split was interesting.
Yeah.
That really made me respect James McAvoy, honestly. I felt like I kept waiting for him to slip up in it to get cheesy, another M. Night Shyamalan movie where something goes awry, but Split was actually pretty solid.
I like those movies when they do them well, where there's a person who has more than one, like, very multiple personalities, and they tie in some kind of crazy underlying plot to it, and they can actually execute on it. Those are some of the best twists in movies that I can.
You kind of just summarize how I do the show every week. It's great. And I don't have the answer to this question. What is eating Gilbert Grape? Just kind of curious if you guys know that answer.
Hey, that's in my next question.
Is it?
What is eating?
I mean, I don't know what's eating him, but other 1993 movies.
Oh yeah.
I started to look at that as viewed from the Oscars. Really tough Oscar year for falling down to be considered for anything.
Yeah, when I looked up other 1993 movies, which I do that frequently when I host, this was definitely the longest list of movies that had names that I thought were worth mentioning.
Right.
Maybe not all of them were Oscar worthy, and I left a lot off the list. I want to say all of them, but it's a long list. I'm going to get through a few of them. You guys just pick out what you want to talk about, though. But
sure.
A Bronx Tale, Gettysburg, Dazed and Confused, Sandlot, Fire in the Sky, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Robin Hood Men in Tights, Hocus Pocus, Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas, Coneheads, Mrs. Doubtfire, Rudy, and Sleepless in Seattle.
Wow,
a lot of big names, right?
Didn't Jurassic Park come out in '93 as well?
No.
No?
Did it?
I thought it did.
No.
I mean, that's her movie of all time, I thought.
I think that was
No.
97.
Oh, all right.
How, dude? I feel like you went with the anti-Oscars list,
And
which
you
is
didn't
pretty
talk
Oh
great.
my
about
God, it was
Cliffhanger.
93. You're right. I'm
Thank
a
you.
monster
I
for
have the
not
VHS
mentioning
right
it.
up here. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Jason.
Dude, well, I mean,
It's the best fucking
the
movie for you, man.
best picture winner this year was fucking Schindler's List.
Well, they
Dude.
had one red code in it, so yeah.
I literally typed in 1993 movies into Google, and I got all that, and it just kept going, and I was like, I can't keep
Yeah.
writing. The guys are gonna hate me. So
Crazy.
yeah, Schindler's List, Jurassic Park. Sorry for missing some greats.
Dude, the nominees: The Fugitive, which Name of
With
the
one-armed
Father,
man.
which have you seen? DDL, The Piano, which was
The
huge,
Huge
Yeah.
pianist.
and then Remains of the Day. Best Actor: Tom Hanks wins for Philadelphia.
Wow.
Like, yeah, 93 is geez, you couldn't even. And what's funny for me was DDL was nominated for In the Name of the Father, and I thought, do you think he was pissed that Tom Hanks won for Philadelphia? He's like, what the fuck?
A movie about cream cheese? Yeah.
Dude, do you think that they were just like, we know this guy's gonna win 3, so fuck it.
Right? Yeah. They're like, but AIDS. Yeah.
Hey, but Philadelphia is pretty. I mean,
Oh,
Tom
dude,
Hanks is
come on.
Tom Hanks is a national treasure.
And Denzel Washington, I feel like that if Glory didn't cement him, that movie cemented him
Hey,
as one of the
totally
greats.
like not applicable to this movie at all, but let's get off subject here a little bit. DDL versus Tom Hanks, since we're talking about it a little bit.
What, like
DDL
golf,
is the greatest
swimming?
of all time. But
Is he?
I would say the best actor. I
mean-
think he can actually perform these incredible roles
Well, now we're doing
and
best
get
actor.
really into character better than anyone I've ever seen. But if I had to
What about
not
Gary
have-
Oldman?
I mean, Gary Oldman's amazing, but he's not DDL.
You saw The Darkest Hour?
I did, and I want to do it on the show one time. But my question is, if we didn't have DDL or Tom Hanks, I feel like I would want Tom Hanks in my life more than I'd want DDL, even though I think DDL is the better actor.
Well, he gives you more good feels.
Dude,
Tom
yeah.
Hanks is like America's dad, whereas DDL is the stepdad who never wanted to get together with the mom who had kids. Yeah.
He kills me with a bowling pin at the end of the movie. Like,
I'm finished in here. Love it. So good.
yeah, I think I give it to Tom Hanks as like my
Drink
guy.
it up.
I think Tom Hanks puts milk first. So I gotta give him my vote as well.
Yep.
He puts milk first. Is that what you
Yeah.
said?
I think so.
In the bowl for
In the
cereal?
bowl before,
There's no
yeah.
fucking way.
It has to. I guarantee.
How
There's
dare
no
you
way.
throw Tom
know.
Hanks under the bus?
I love. some
I know
Tom
I
Hanks, though.
followed his Instagram and he would just, all his posts were from, you could tell they were from walks or runs or whatever he's doing to get out and exercise in the streets. And he would take pictures of discarded clothing, like a glove here, a sock there, just lonely and in the street. That's what he would post on Instagram. And I was always like, I just like this guy. I bet you he would be fun to listen to.
Okay.
Man, I mean, there's so many Tom Hanks stories and movies, and he's just an amazing actor. I still think the Money Pit when the tub falls through the floor and he starts laughing. I'm like, ever since that movie, that moment, I've loved Tom Hanks personally.
Yeah,
Dude,
the man with one red
what's
shoe.
his name
Yeah.
versus what's his name versus the volcano?
God.
Bad.
Joe versus
I'm
the
so
volcano.
glad-
What's his name? We don't
I'm
say
so
his
glad
name
that-
anymore.
Wow.
Ben made me watch that movie. It's not a good movie. But
But it is
move
though.
on
But
to-
it is.
let's move on to the WAD.
There we go.
Writers and directors. So technically, writer and director is same person, Joel Shoemaker. But
Joel Schumacher, man.
But the real writer, Eb Rowe, is that how you say it? Ebby? I think it's Eb. Eb Rowe. He wrote the script for this, and every studio in Hollywood turned down the script until Michael Douglas read it, and he was like, "I actually really like this, and I want to do it."
That's right.
But
Because he's a producer, he can see talent in movies. He's produced some of the best movies of the 80s and 90s. All right, Joel Schumacher, also a great director.
Yeah, but so Ebro, I kind of looked into him more. There's not much else to talk about, so we're gonna focus on Joel Schumacher. Joel Schumacher.
Mocker. I'm pretty sure it's CH for the last.
Yeah, but everybody says Shoemaker. Everyone would say
no, that's with a K. And I believe
that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna call him Joel Schumacher. And I'm just gonna remove the L too. It's actually Joe Shoemaker. I think
it's Mocker.
Right. Anyways,
Potatoes.
he also is responsible. He's responsible for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Which I mean, that's not a big plus. Yeah,
it's a plus. Not
I
not
mean,
the big plus.
I'm glad that I have watched those movies, and I never plan on watching them again.
I've seen Forever multiple times, but I won't ever watch Batman and Robin.
I feel a little chill.
Yeah, can't do it.
Stick around,
Mr. Freeze.
But Phone Booth, he actually did Phone Booth too.
All right,
and he did do A Time to Kill. I would say that's his other good movie.
When's the last time you watched that? That movie was mesmerizing, dude. McConaughey before he was McConaughey.
Whew. McConaughey
has. I used to say that I thought McConaughey was a great actor back when we worked at Blockbuster. And I remember Jason would kind of like make fun of me a little bit, but he'd also at the same time not make fun of me too much. He'd be like, no, I get it. And then while we still worked there, I think something different came out. It wasn't him doing Dallas Buyers Club. No. It definitely wasn't.
It wasn't Interstellar, but he's great in Interstellar.
I think it may have been Rain
the first
of Fire,
time he sees his aged kid. Anyway,
Lincoln Lawyer. I liked him.
Lincoln Lawyer was
pretty good.
I like that movie.
I felt like that was a movie I never need to watch again, but it was so enjoyable the first time I watched it.
I watch it every couple of years.
Hey, just to focus on Matthew McConaughey a little bit more, his acceptance speech for Best Actor was the best acceptance speech.
I don't remember
what it was. Because he threw out all right in his acceptance speach.
All right.
Good for him.
All right.
He knows his roots.
Look that up.
And he is okay with them. All right, let's move on to actors. So Michael Douglas. Ben, what are Michael Douglas's biggest movies? Go.
I'm not going to answer that question, but I will say he's got 67 acting credits on IMDb, and I got my top 3 favorite.
That's not the
Number
question.
Number 1, I would like to actually hear from you guys. What would you say is your favorite Michael Douglas before I answer? This is where I think it'll really show the age difference. When you think of Michael Douglas, what's the movie you think of?
I don't know if it's unfortunate, but there's a reason I picked this movie. I do like this movie. I probably watch it every 4 or 5 years. And there's not, I feel, another movie just like this movie. And I think of Michael Douglas when I think of this movie. I think of this movie when I think of Michael Douglas. I do like him in Ant-Man. And I think that's, more recent. Perfect Murder, Traffic, those were good. I mean, Wall Street, though.
Perfect Murder. Right, yeah. You're going to just name every movie. Jason, what do you think? When you think of Michael Douglas, do you think of what?
I'm trying to think of the fucking name, but I can't think of it right now. It's, I think, a mid-90s movie. I'm trying to figure it out. I know there's one on top of my head.
Basic Instinct?
Basic Instinct. That's the one I was trying to figure out.
Okay.
That's the one I was popping the head.
No. Is he in Basic? He's in Fatal Attraction. Is he in
No,
Basic
he's
Instinct?
in Basic Instinct for sure.
That's the one I was trying to think of the word.
Okay.
And then Jewel of the Nile also came to mind.
Yeah, that's Romancing the Stone is mine. That's the Jewel of the Nile is the sequel to that. But yeah, Romancing the Stone, I always think of him from that movie. It's got some of my favorite iconic times. Number 2, I would actually say, is this movie. And then number 3, I kind of want to throw Wall Street out there, but I've never actually sat and watched the whole thing. But you know who he's really good in is War of the Roses. I find his character, especially, that movie's not great, but like he will not stop being just such a petty fucking asshole. And I feel like his role was a great example of how not to be a man. Like, watch that movie and just, you're like, wow, he's really good at not being able to let go. Yeah, many others, but I would definitely say those are my top 3 from his career.
So I want to come back to A Perfect Murder a little bit, just because, I mean, you guys probably don't give a shit about that movie, but my mom loved that movie, and that was like one of the first movies. So in '93, I was 7 years old, and that was one of the first movies that was like violent that my mom was comfortable sharing with me. And so I don't remember how old I was when I watched it, but I was young. And it's also the first movie I saw Viggo Mortensen in. And I think it's a pretty, like, with the breadth of what Hollywood has put out now from 1993, this is such a simple murder story. It's like literally Murder, She Wrote kind of stuff. But for the time, I don't know, I found it was actually a really good movie and pretty thought-provoking on the whole, like hiring some other guy to come in and kill your wife for you and flirt with her and all that stuff. Anyways,
I thought you were gonna say The Ghost of the Darkness as a Michael Douglas movie. Personally, I thought Russ was gonna go with that one.
Yeah, that's a big one for Russ.
Hey, Mom, I know you're never gonna watch this show, and thank God. But if you do, remember when you let me watch Perfect Murder? That's parenting right there.
Great. Yeah, you know what else I really like is Michael Douglas's work in this show where you just grind it to a halt.
Hey,
Did you want to talk about Michael Douglas more before I move on to Barbara Hershey?
No.
I do want to say
Jason
one thing
does,
I
though.
just remembered. You were talking about 1993 movies, and you said The Sky, or was it Fire in the Sky?
Fire in the Sky.
That movie fucked me up as a kid, man. That shit was hard to watch. That shit fucked me up, dude. Like,
that movie's so different or weird in the sense that, like, it's got maybe 15 minutes of actual extraterrestrial shit, and then it's got like 2.5 hours of just driving around in a truck and like these dirt roads and being in a farmhouse, and like things are hard for me because of blah blah blah. But they do it well. They do it well. But when you really like stand back and evaluate it, it's like, holy shit, there's nothing happening in this movie except for those 15 minutes.
And it's just like this episode. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I know. Fuck you.
The scene under the table where the syrup drips on him is like etched in my memory.
Yeah. That movie and Arachnophobia are the two that fucked me up as a kid.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Russ.
What are the other 3 actors I'm going to talk about?
Sorry. There we go.
Robert Duvall, Barbara Hershey, and Cheech Marin.
You want to talk about Robert Duvall?
What?
Yeah, I want to talk about Robert Duvall.
He's not in this movie, but let's talk about him.
What?
Yeah, he plays Pendergast. The fuck are you talking about?
Wow.
Lay off the wine. That's Frederick Forrest, the
What?
old detective.
No. Frederick Forrest is the neo-Nazi, I believe. Great. You don't know who Robert Duvall is. This is the guy I make this show with, and he doesn't know Robert fucking
Days of
Duvall.
Thunder, bro.
Yeah, right. I got my top 5 Robert Duvall coming at you fast. The Paper, fucking phenomenal. Open Range. Click the button. Watch this show. It's great. Kicking and Screaming. He plays fucking Will Ferrell's dad. So funny. So funny. Days of Thunder, number 4. Number 5, you cannot deny it. Colors, man. Colors.
All right, Colors.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, when I first thought of his name, I was thinking Days of Thunder. That came to mind.
Yeah,
Days of
absolutely.
Thunder.
Fucking
I
cold
still want to
trickle.
challenge you to Days of Thunder at the arcade, though. I still challenge you to a duel.
Well, let's do it.
Yeah,
It's motor racing time. Oh no, that's Daytona.
Daytona.
That's right. It's motor racing time. Daytona.
Yeah, that also aged me. Sorry.
Russ, did you want to talk about other people who aren't in this movie? You were talking about Barbara Hershey. She must not be in this
Let's just
movie.
pick random actors to talk about. How about that?
Do you know what Barbara Hershey's in?
A little bit of hers in every Hershey bar, I believe.
So she had a very short list, but she's in Black Swan.
Yeah.
Which is weird. She actually didn't have a short list. She was in a lot of movies that's like old people shit. And
80s, 90s. Yeah, she was big in 80s, 90s, and then kind of.
But she also like wasn't in big parts in movies that were worth mentioning. So I didn't write her down for anything other than Black Swan and The Last Temptation of Christ. She plays Mary in Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
Rachel Ticotin. Ticoto. That's the female detective, the lady detective.
Yes. Who has kind of a weird, like, does she like Robert Duvall? Does she respect him?
It was weird.
There's a weird.
She liked him a little more than I thought she would.
Right.
She's in a lot of movies that are all from this era. Again, not big parts, so I didn't care for many of them, but she was in a lot of big name movies actually. The ones that I put down where she played a role that was worth mentioning. Total Recall. She was one of the main parts in that. Con Air, Man on Fire, and Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Ben's favorite.
Wow.
I like the sequel better. I feel like the sequel. Yeah, she wasn't really known for her big parts, but she was known for her big sharts.
Hey, good job there.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I got a few other questions for you guys.
All right.
If you could rampage through a town for an entire day and just like the day reset afterwards and you went back to your normal life. Wait, what did you say?
It's like Groundhog's Day, or was that other movie?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Tomorrow, whatever.
Yeah, like kind of like Groundhog's Day, except you just went back to your normal life. You just get a free pass on rampaging through a town for an entire day. Which town would it be?
Dixon, California. No, I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like I'd use the opportunity to visit somewhere exotic, like I want to say France or London would probably be pretty sick.
I want to just go to
high
Greece.
Population. Yeah. You can understand when people are yelling in fear. Like you'd probably get a lot out of London.
I definitely would pick San Francisco because every time I go there, I get mad about something. At least one thing. It's usually like 6 or 7 things.
When you step in human feces, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the poop, the constant like people cutting me off, the fact that there's nowhere to park, the fact that I gotta pay a toll. Like there's so many reasons.
When you said Rampage, I was thinking of the NES game Rampage. Remember that? Where he's like smashing the building.
Yeah.
Man,
they made a movie. They made
Yeah.
a movie with the
With The
Dwayne
Rock.
Johnson.
That's true with
did.
Dwayne Johnson. Yes,
Twain.
with his actual name.
You say it like I'm weird for calling him by his actual name.
I know that's because to my ear,
It's
it's like,
it's
no,
you
that's
know
The
him.
Rock. That's
All right.
yeah. Do you know, can you
In your
smell what it is that he
lifetimes,
was cooking?
in your lifetimes, which job made you come the closest to losing your shit? Ben.
You already know.
All right, Ben and I have the same one.
Your guess is correct. Yeah, your guess is correct.
It is Napa style.
For sure.
But Jason,
Training server at Applebee's. Holy shit. Every fucking server that walked in that door, I had to train for a full year, and I got tired of that shit. I was like, I couldn't do it. I walked out of that job. Fuck this. I couldn't do it anymore. That was a shit show. Quality fucking people go into Applebee's, man. Quality. I mean, I
don't
eat
doubt
there,
that.
so that doesn't say a lot, but yeah.
all right. Similar to my first question, you just get to do this and then it resets. So like guilt free.
Okay.
But
Guilt free. I'm not going to remember it afterwards.
Dessert first.
Which
Okay.
vehicle would you pick that you just get to drive into oncoming traffic? Any vehicle you want.
That's awful.
Wow. I never. This
I
is
feel
not
like
something that
this
actually
could be
crossed
used
me.
against me in a court of law.
Yeah. No
Well,
shit.
mine would definitely be a dump truck.
Kind of like this this episode. Yeah.
Did you see Terminator 3? There's some really good options out there.
I'd probably go for like the
Cranes and
Spy
shit.
Hunter car.
The Spy Hunter car. Tell me about that car.
Oil slick, smoke screen, machine gun on the front.
That sounds pretty cool.
I would
What car
pick the-
flies up and doesn't kill me or anybody else and allows me to just enjoy racing a car? That's
Come
my
on,
answer.
don't be a nice guy. I told
Air
you the
taxi.
day resets and nobody dies.
That's not my bag. I'd rather have the bag of guns walking through the streets, fucking finding assholes and righting wrongs.
Oh, you want
like,
to take my briefcase? Yeah.
I
Okay,
don't know. Yeah.
so my next question is,
Oh, I didn't get the answer.
Jason.
Yeah. What?
Mine
Answer.
was Mad Max with the fucking drums and the guitar with the flames coming out. Just
Oh shit! Yeah, that'd
yeah.
be great.
Fuck yeah.
that would be my
And
pick.
Martin Joe's car, dude, would be sick.
Yeah.
Those monster
If
tires.
I could drive any one of those vehicles, honestly, that would be great.
That would be it. Yeah.
Weapon of choice for scaring the shit out of people. Not necessarily killing them, but just you're having a bad day. You need to get that burger that
Because you had
they
a
stopped
bad
selling
day.
3 minutes ago. What would you pick to scare them with?
The pen is mightier than the sword. I'm complaining. I need to speak to the manager.
We're going to rename Jason Karen tonight.
There we go. Yeah.
Ben, what would you pick?
You're asking weird.
Science. Just remind him about mortality, and then one day the sun's gonna supernova. Yeah, take that, motherfucker.
I would hand him the
No, wait, I
$50
just
bill
scared
that-
myself.
Oh.
Dude, the pump action pistol grip shotgun cannot be what's better than that? What's better?
a
You got
mace.
the pump, pistol grip. Come on, man, you're looking good with that gun on your hip.
Yeah, and then Terminator 2, how he reloads it.
Yep.
I feel like if I could actually scare the shit out of people with a BB gun, that would be my jam. Just go in
So-
there, and I bet you it would work. You're in one of these stupid hamburger joints, and you just pull out an air pressure
And you're
BB
pulling the
gun
BBs,
thing.
you're trying to get 'em in
And
there.
you just start
Pulling
shooting
BBs.
and you just yell loud enough and you've got enough ferocity in your tone of voice and they all start shitting their pants. That's how I want to get the
And a BB
sales
gun.
I
All
want.
right.
Wow.
So I ever tell you the
Wow.
pellet gun story? So
Tell us
I'll
the
make it
pellet gun
fast.
story.
I'll make it fast. So my son had a BB gun. It had no power. So I decided to go buy a pellet gun that had power, had a scope and everything. This shit was sick. And I'm like, let me be a dad and show you how safely to use this thing, right? So I fucking get this pellet gun, never shot it before. And I get it up there and I shoot it and I have my eye on the fucking scope and the shit was so much powerful kick. Shit hit me right here and cut me right. And he's all, Dad, are you bleeding? I'm all fucking gushing blood. And I'm all, no, I'm good, bro. So yeah, I learned my lesson that day.
No, I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I'm fine,
I'm
bro. Yeah, he's
fine.
all, dude, you're
I ain't
bleeding.
got
Dad, are you
time to
bleeding?
bleed.
No, that's my
Yeah.
hair coming
I
back.
almost became a pirate
That's
that day.
right.
Great. Was it
Yeah.
all fun and games to you, Austin? Yes, it was. Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
my story. Yeah.
Hey, so
Nice.
Sorry.
you guys got anything else you want to talk about?
Well, the icon picture with him standing on the graffiti concrete with the gun in the briefcase. I mean, that picture summarizes the entire movie. I feel like, when I see that, it instantly brings me back to the entire movie. Like that's all I need to see, and it's like, yep, that's the movie I remember. I thought it was cool seeing the lowrider in it because I like lowriders. That's just me. I think it was pretty funny how he had a whole bag of guns. I was like, damn, you just got a plethora of guns. And then that sick fuck at the Nazi place, man, that guy was fucked up. So in a nutshell, that's all I remember from the movie. Sick fuck, concrete steps, and lowriders in a weird way.
I feel like it's put together really well. Like, there's so many formulaic movies. I guess this formula just speaks to me. The bat to the knife to the guns to the rocket launcher. Like
Oh,
the
To the
This
nukes.
formula just speaks to me. I've done this
did
in
the
Fallout.
grocer,
yeah.
You
the
gotta
grocer
level
to the
up.
gang members to the I don't know. I really love the progression of this and his overarching, story character arc where it's like this guy's just fed up, people are fucking with him, he's just trying to make his way home. But then you learn, well, he shouldn't be making his way home. By the time he's wearing the military black outfit, he's gone. You know what I mean? There's no coming back. He's past the point of no return. The structure is great. B plus. Let's bring it up.
Bring
Oh,
it up.
upgrade.
Whoa, okay. You
Whoa, we
messed
have a
it up. We were
change.
gonna do a triple B, but now I'll do a B
All right,
plus.
all right.
I'm fine
I'll
with
get
that.
in line. Yeah, no, yeah.
B
You
plus.
you go my way.
Also, last two things to throw out there about why this movie's great. Iron Maiden's song "Man on the Edge" is based on this
Mhm.
movie,
I
and the
know
Foo Fighters song "Walk,"
Walk,
at least
yeah.
the music video, is inspired by this movie.
Dude, it's almost like a shot for shot remake. I started watching the first half of it. It's really funny when he goes into the grocers and is no change. It's Pat Smear. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is actually really funny.
Well,
Hey, like and subscribe, people.
yeah. Thanks for
Click
hanging
the
out with
button
us.
for
Come
those
on out.
links
Tell your
about the
friends.
other movies.
Let's get above
That's right.
77. Let's be at 78.
Yep. First
like
one
that
to get
number.
us to 80 wins a prize. It's a Starbucks gift card.
I got
Send in
one more
your
question for you guys
address, your
before we
social
hang up.
security number. What's up?
Got one more question for you before we hang up.
Okay.
Shoe, shoe, sock, sock, or sock, shoe, sock, shoe?
Hang up right now.